Hello, good morning. This morning we have a reflection on education. Why education and what education? Actually, I'm in a street that has several schools, international schools, basically. It's not far from where I stay. And it makes me think of education. Why education? It happened to be for a lot of families where they put most of their money. They put in the education of the kids. And you can see there is basically in the city there's big difference, a huge difference between the time where kids go to school and when they're on holidays. That means education is something that's taken seriously, at least apparently. Let's go in the past, a number of years back, and we see how was education 100 years ago in most part of the world. It wasn't that standardized, because nowadays we have the school starts at this period, we have the holidays at this period. In each country we have each period is considered to be the school time, when the schools are open, and another where the schools are closed. And we have international schools which are supposed to have a curriculum which goes beyond the borders of individual countries. These concepts are interesting, but it's a result of the evolution of the world. Before there were what we call schools, were there education? Of course, there's always been education, because how else will it be? How else will it be? When we come to this life, we come with no knowledge at all. We come with what we have as the basics. The basics, we're human. We have the natural reflexes. We don't know. And we start becoming what the environment we are in give us. And what's that? Very early people understand that, if this person has to be productive for himself or herself or the society, we need to teach him or her what to do. And there started education. And we see it even in animals. We see it. The bird learn to fly. The hunting animals learn to hunt, to find food, because at the beginning they may find food for you, and then you need to find it by yourself. So education is part of human life, has always been part of human life. As soon as we realize that we need to learn to do what we're doing, it's just at a certain point people start being specialized depending on their environment. And as we start even going beyond the basic needs, we start seeing the necessity of having beauty, arts. All those made us find that, if I know how to do it, and the way I do it, I learn to do it better and better, I better teach it to my kids, so that when I can no more do it, they can do it. Either I can do it, I'm doing this in an altruistic way, which is I really want them to fulfill human being, or if I can't do it by myself, they will do it for me. Whatever the reason, people have noticed the need to do that, and they start doing it for their own kids. And this is the transmission has been, at the same time, those who were ruling over others start teaching their own kids how to become the rulers. The peasant teaches kids how to become a peasant. The artist teaches his kids how to become artists. The singer, the business person teaches his kids how to become a business person, and so on. Then school came, and with the needs of the society, like when we have big industries, when we need a lot of people who know how to do something in a similar manner, and so on, we need to have a certain number of people who know how to do a specific thing, and we train them in big numbers. And then came school where we train people in big numbers to know how to do the same thing. We say, okay, everyone who is 10 years old should know how to do this specific thing. How important is this? It is important in a way that when you meet a 10 years old, you know what to expect of the person. It's easy to say, oh, the person is supposed to know ABCD. That's the same thing when they say someone comes from this school, you know, oh, the person knows how to do ABCD. And good for industry, good for the economy, good for companies, good for the government. Yes. Now, in this channel, you know, we trim it down to what you can do as an individual, because all these are good for these institutions. Now, for yourself, education was important. You either went through it successfully or not. Now, what's next? What's next? Do you need another degree? If you did what were required from you, or you didn't do it, no matter, it doesn't matter at all. The question we ask now: do you need another degree? Do you need to go back? You 30 years old, do you need to go back to school? Or you can be productive without going back to school. For most people, what we realize is you don't really need to go back to this master's degree. You don't need it. You don't need it. You identify by yourself what you need in terms of competence, in terms of skill, and you go learn that. A certificate, sometimes you don't even need a certificate, because a certificate is someone's opinion on you. And unless you're going to show it to someone, you want the competence, acquire the competence, whatever way you can acquire the competence. You have free online courses. You can go to the actual brick and mortar business to learn it. You have different ways you can learn it. And when you learn a certificate or no certificate, don't mind it. You do have the skills? Yes, be confident and go do your things. You want to monetize it? Learn how to monetize it. This is another point. A lot of people have a lot of knowledge, a lot of skills, but the issue becomes how to monetize it. Since they don't know how to monetize their skills, they go learn more skills. And they think it is more skill that we do know. What will do it is knowing how to monetize what you already have, because most of the time you already have what you need to make a living. You've learned a lot, you know a lot, but you still don't know how to monetize it. And because you don't know how to monetize it, you think you need to learn more, to go learn more. No. Your next learning will be while you're monetizing it. So, learn how to monetize your skills. How do you get money from what you know already? Because most of us don't know how to monetize what we know already. What we're looking for someone who knows how to monetize what we know, and the person, of course, will have part of it. And how do we call this type of person? Employer. These people called employer are the people who know how to monetize what we know how to do. We know how to do it, but we don't know how to monetize it. And the monetization is the most rewarding part. If you can do it, you won't be scared going freelance. You won't be scared creating a business. You won't be scared doing whatever way you find to monetize it. But because you don't know, you prefer, okay, at least I have a job. No, you know more than a job. I'm not saying for every person, they don't need to go back and learn. Some people, really, there is nothing they have to do right now but to learn something, to learn to do something that can be that can make money. That's basically for some people. And we have a lot of people who really need to go and learn. Look now, don't even look at the market, because sometimes you can be lured. What you see as market is what's around you. You look around and you see your neighbor is doing this and he has money, and you think, oh, this is what brings money. No, virtually everything brings money, virtually, because you can see in all trades some rich people. Some people say that no, there are some declining part of the economy, some rising. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true, because they tell people now it's AI, go learn AI skill, but AI is trained to kick out anyone who knows anything about AI. It's being trained to kick out anyone. So are you going to learn how to make things based on AI only, or you really love doing something that's manual and that can still make money? Why not? Why not? As far as you can imagine, because it comes from human imagination. As far as you can imagine how this can be monetized, you have money out of it. It is when you believe that some people have arranged the things to be in a certain way that you think, oh, what are they thinking? No. What are you thinking? Because you are making your world. You are making your world. You are making your world, and we're talking about your world. Are you going to decide based on what someone says? No, you're going to decide on what you think. What do you think? What do you want? What do you think? What do you want? Then you go in that track. You make your money. You make your life. You make it. But you have to do. Knowing that if you do this, it will work is not enough. You have to make the actual doing. The actual doing, which is think, act, see the results again, repeat it again. Think, act, see the result, repeat it. Think, act, do, see the result, repeat it. If you know how to do it, do it. If you don't know how to do it, it doesn't matter. Learn, start now. The best time to start is now, not in 1 month, not on Monday, not next week, not any of that. It is now. It is now, just now. Start. Do you need more education? Maybe, but more education has never been the condition. More education has never been the condition. As long as you have a certain age, and a certain age depends. For some people, it starts very early. There is a necessity of self-determining, of going out there and earning. For some people, they delay it a little bit and they come back to it. It's still okay. But in any case, what you need to know is not necessarily a matter of having more education. The basic, if you can hear what I'm saying, you can understand what I'm saying, most probably you don't need more education to gain more money. What you already know can help. But for what you want, you may need more education. Then go for it. Go specific. Don't go for this because you think that if you have this degree, someone will hire you for this position. There is no guarantee on that. No guarantee. Look at really what you want. You'll see that this job you're thinking about is not what you want. You want a good life. You want a certain level of salary. Maybe you want certain earning. You want to contribute to this world in a certain way. Yes, and you think having this job will allow you to do that. And you think this job is not most of the cases. In most cases, it's not this job. It's not this job, and you trim it down to this job, and you become slave of looking for this job, which is not the way to go. So let me summarize the thinking of this morning about education. It was about education. How do we come to get into education? It's from an historical perspective and coming down to the standardized systems of education which we have as school, and coming down to an individual level where when you look at yourself as a young adult or as an adult, you think, do I have enough education? Is my level of my standard of living based on the level of education I have? And that means if I'm not highly educated, I should go back to school. And the answer was no, 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 don't rush to school. Don't rush, give your money to someone who will give you a piece of paper. No, don't do this. Don't rush to that. What you need to do, it is to think yourself as, what do you know now? What you know now can, how to monetize what you know now. And if you can monetize what you know now, you have money. You need more education, look specifically at what you need in terms of education and go for it. You have the free version of everything, then you have the paid versions. And paid version doesn't mean more efficient. It means that you're giving money to someone to do it. And free version doesn't mean less efficient, because it means you most probably need to have more self-motivation, more self-initiative to learn it. But in any case, it's out there, and you have the micro learning, you have the very targeted education where you can get what you want. But don't rush back to school to say you want a master's degree, you want this degree. In some fields, and there are very few, you really need that, but in most fields, you don't need that at all. You don't need that at all. Go on purpose to learn what skill you want. That was the message of this morning. You need more education? Maybe, not necessarily. And whatever your level of education, if you don't monetize it correctly, it will be like it's not enough.
I think I've had enough. Gotta find a way to get some energy. Gotta find someone who's a good friend of me. I need purpose to make it all worth it. I'm still searching and I'm still